Welcome to the Junior High Humanities Podcast, where our students dive deep into the heart of what it means to be fully human.
Every episode is a student-driven journey featuring their unique insights, reflections, and discoveries from their humanities assignments.
Stay tuned to the Junior High Humanities Podcast for a captivating exploration of humanity, faith, and learning.
Hi guys, today we're going to do a podcast, and my name is Riley Fisher.
Hi, I'm Nora Kennedy.
I'm Olivia Alonso. And my name is Dylan Merrow.
So I'll go first. My poem is called Persevere, and what I'm trying to communicate to others is that even through hard times, you can always persevere. Kicked and beat, he was thrown to the street. Tears flowed like a river down his face, so he ran away. Alone and facing reality, he couldn't do anything. His poor little sister, just an innocent child, he begged for a job and worked for years. He got a promotion and things got brighter. He made enough money to go raise a family and had overcome hatred and became a better father than his ever did.
Okay, so Nora, after reading your poem, what do you think you did well?
I think I did well on the last part of it, the last two lines. I really liked them.
Why do you like them so much?
I just think it's really impactful how he persevered even though his father had whipped him and been really mean to him.
So Nora, what inspired you to write this poem?
I was inspired by my great-grandfather. We call him Grandpa Shoe. And through his life, that was actually his life.
So Nora, why do you call this grandfather of yours Grandpa Shoe?
We call him Grandpa Shoe because his last name is Shoe, and my grandma made it up.
So Nora, was the poem easy to write?
I found this poem pretty easy to write because it just was really inspiring how he just persevered, and it's just based off a life story. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. All right, Nora, the next question is, what was the process you went through to write the poem? Did you, sit in a chair, or did you just, sit in a comfy place? What'd you do?
I just sat on my bed and just continued to write it.
Cool. Personally, I had to listen to classical music when I was writing mine because I just had to get into the whimsical feel just to get into it.
I actually, now I think about it, was listening to Hamilton while I was doing it.
Okay, Nora, I've got a question for you. What influence did this person that you wrote about have on you?
He's just really been always really nice to me and nice to his kids and all his grandkids. And he has been through a lot of sicknesses and, and it's just really scary sometimes. But then he's always gone through it and continued to, praise God, and he loves God for that.
Wow, that's really... How did your grandfather get to Christianity?
My grandfather just being with his mom and his dad that were both people that weren't the kindest human beings ever. He just came to Christianity when a man he tried working for, and he was 11 years old doing this. A man led him there while he was working for him. And yeah, that's how he came to Christianity.
Wow, that's really inspiring. Thank you for sharing. I also have another question. I wanted to ask, is this your first time writing poems, or have you wrote poems before?
I have written poems in elementary and in 7th grade. I've written a lot of poems before, but I haven't really done one like this. I've always done one about a random thing that just rhymes. Yeah, this one actually means something.
That's really cool.
Now I have a question, Nora. Why did you choose to write about this person specifically?
I chose to write about him because he's probably one of the most inspiring human beings to me, and I found that it was pretty easy to write after I got started because it's just his life story, and yeah, it's really cool how he persevered.
So, Nora, another question for you is, in your poem, how come you said alone and facing reality in the second poem on the first line?
Well, I said that because he and his siblings and his mother had run away from their father, who was abusive, and their mother was drank a lot, and so he was in charge of looking after his sister, and most of the time they didn't have food on the table, and it was just really sad, and really just facing that life isn't always going to be good, and being able to see the bad things that can happen in life.
Great answer. We need to start. Wait.
Stop.
Okay, so Nora, I've got another question for you. In the second to last line in the end of your poem, you use the word hatred. Why did you use such a strong word?
I used hatred, and honestly, I should have gotten a word that was even stronger for that, because the way his parents treated him and the way his life was terrible, and I can't imagine what he had gone through to have parents like that, because I guarantee you he does not have a lot of good memories as a kid, and he just doesn't have a lot of loving families like we all do, and we're just so blessed to have them, and yeah, that's why I used hatred for them.
Yeah, your grandfather seemed to be a very strong person. He's really inspiring.
You know who he reminds me of? That guy in Bible that was doing the TED Talk. And when you said that he was having a rough life too, and he said that he did not have any good memories of his childhood, would you say that's the same for your grandfather?
I would say that's pretty close to the same, because I feel like the only good ones were him probably just getting food on the table.
Wow. It's kind of hard to imagine how life was back then, because we're so blessed right now. It's just hard to picture it.
Yeah.
Yeah, now all we have is an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Yeah. Thank you, Nora, for sharing that poem with us. Now let's move on to my poems.
Oh.
The title of my poem is His Life is a Rhythm. It's a poem about my brother, who I always look up to. I'll just start. A figure I always looked up to, whose passions molded mine, the person whose shadow I always follow, whose dreams preceded mine. His life follows the pattern of a drum, sometimes loud and booming, sometimes quiet and glooming. He had many highs and lows, but his strength and strong will pulled him through. His footsteps drum against the floor, echoing through the walls, with some notes more powerful than others. With his heart and his mind, with all the information he could find, he paved his path to the light. The events that started the course of the song, the tempo, the beat, the will to reach for new heights. His hopes, his dreams laid out in his sights. With his dreams in reach, he let his heart follow the flow. It led him through the sheet with all the notes in reach. With a tempo so powerful, it echoed through the streets. His life is a pattern, a beautiful beat. With the power to make a difference, with the power to be seen, the figure I always look up to, whose willpower shines bright, with the notes that illuminate the night sky, with the dreams that constructed mine, with his determination and smarts that I could only dream to match. His life is a rhythm, a strong, determined beat that may never meet defeat. With this poem, I hope to communicate to keep life simple and keep life going, even if it doesn't seem easy. But in the end, you could always still reach for your dreams.
One thing I really liked about your poem is how you did like a lot of rhyming, like how you keep going with like the music theme, but you still found ways to rhyme it with a bunch of other things along with each other.
Thank you. I also I felt really proud of like the rhyme scheme that I used.
Why did you do your poem based on music with your brother?
So that's a really good question. I based it off my brother because he's the person I always looked up to, like when I was younger, and I still actually look up to him. And he's like really smart. He's probably one of the smartest people I know, and I just felt like I kind of like had to write it about him. And then I based it off of music because he loves the drums. Like it's like one of his biggest passions. So I thought it would just be right to like use a metaphor of the drums to compare it to his life.
Yeah. So what was your process for writing this poem?
My process is actually similar to Riley and Nora's. I sat down, played some music, and I just kept writing.
Another question to add to your poem, which I'm very curious about, is your brother in a band?
Okay. So that's a good question. My brother actually used to be in a band when he was in high school, but we like moved and he hasn't had the chance to like join a band yet.
Do you think he has plans to join a band, or do you think he's just going to stay solo?
I think he's gonna join a band at his current college. He has such a big passion for music, and he just finds it really easy to make like songs and stuff. So I feel like he could pursue that passion one day.
What makes your brother your role model?
Ooh, okay. So my brother, I think I already said this, but he's super smart, and I don't know how to say this, but he just kind of like persevered through all the hard times in his life, and I think he was just really inspiring. So I just always looked up to him.
I see. I have an older brother too, so I understand.
Okay, I've got a question for you too. So in the poem, I see you put the word strong-willed. In what way do you mean strong-willed?
Okay, so I mean that he's really determined. Like nothing can like kind of like bring him down, and he's just like really strong. Yeah, he's just really strong and a determined person. So yeah, that's what strong will means in that sense.
Nice.
What is your brother? I heard that your brother's in college, so what is his goal in college so far?
Ooh, okay. So at first, he was doing like Earth System Science, I think, in college. But now he's actually changed like what he's pursuing, and he's doing environmental engineering. I think his goal is just, I don't know, right now just have fun in college and enjoy it with his friends and stuff.
Okay, for us people who don't even know what environmental engineering is, what is environmental engineering again?
Okay, well, it's actually pretty straightforward. It's just engineering for the environment.
How do you engineer
like
an
solar
environment?
Not quite, like similar to solar
Oh.
panels and like stuff like that.
Okay.
Like
At least I think so.
plant resources, like get bark from trees and then make it like
But how is
somehow
that
well-oiled
engineering?
machine.
No, not
Engineering
quite. It's
is
just,
the process of making a machine.
well, it's just
Okay.
I don't really know what he's doing in college back there, but like he's just trying to have fun. That's all I know.
That's good.
Where does your brother go to college? Is it in California?
Yes, he goes to UC Irvine, so it's actually pretty close. It's like
Ooh,
15
yeah.
minutes from here.
Yes, I go to UCI to get sandwiches. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
What?
Wait, what? I'm sorry. I don't know why I just simply like.
Where did that come from?
Well, whenever I go to UCI and there's the thing, I always think because you told me that your brother goes to UCI, so I go and I get sandwiches and then it says UCI. I'm like, oh, Olivia's brother goes there.
They're probably going to cut this out just because this has nothing to do with her poem.
Yeah, you should
Sweet.
probably cut this out.
Mr. Jasper, we're really sorry, but can you cut the sandwich part out?
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
We got a little bit off topic. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go.
How come in your poem you bolded some words?
Ooh, that's actually a really good question. that wasn't just for like aesthetic appearances. I did that because I just wanted to make those words seem like more dramatic and more powerful than they already were. Like, you could tell with the poem that I bolded words like strong will, and like I think I bolded like powerful or something like that. And I just did that to like emphasize the word more.
Also, there's italicism in your poem. Why did you do that as well?
That's also a similar reason to the last part. I just wanted to like almost like make those words pop out more to the reader, because those are like the most important words of the poem.
I see.
Was the reason why you chose to do your brother and not like your dad or your grandpa, was there a specific reason aside from him being a role model?
Oh, kind of. Not only he was like a big role model, he was my oldest sibling, right? And we're just like super close. I love my brother, and he's just basically taught me everything I know.
Gosh, I wish I had one of those. I wouldn't be bored all the time.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Also, in your poem, it says, the person whose shadow I always follow. Like, do you always follow in a shadow? And, like, are you bothered to be in a shadow?
No, okay. So that means, like, I just follow in his shadow. I follow in his footsteps, or at least I try to. Because I feel like he's, like, persevered and proven to be such a good, like, how do I say this? Like, a good student, a good person overall. And he's, like, reached for his dreams, and he's found them. Like, it's just, I just want to be like that when I grow up.
Thank you, Olivia, for that amazing poem. Now on to Dylan.
Okay, so the title of my poem is called Room of Regret. It is, I walk in the room, I see the wall full of regrets, each one pretty and wrapped in a bow. They lined up to torment me, to have their fill of things to build the hill. The hill builds and builds to make me want to stop, to turn and walk away. They haunt me at night, they always cause a blight. Always in the back of my mind, making me second guess and regret every move I make, making me want to run away and hide, because they always come back to haunt me, even when I truly try to be the one out there. They cause me to start again, and I am never the one who wins. Something I hope to communicate from this poem is that even if you do sometimes come to think about what you did wrong at any given time, you should always try and like move on and not get stuck on it.
Which poem was this?
When I was trying to do the formed poem, I couldn't really think of how to do the other ones, so Miss Long let me do a free verse poem, so free verse.
Yeah. I think that was a really good poem, though.
I agree as well. The figurative language was very strong, and I just have one question, though.
Okay.
What did you mean, like, on the wall where they have, like, them all wrapped up in, like, gifts and bows?
Like, you know how, it's kind of weird, but I'm going to bring up Santa. Like, you know, when I always think of Santa, I always think he's got, like, this big wall of everybody's presents. So I always think that he's, like, each one of my regrets are, like, as if they're presents or they're, like, little scenes from a movie. They're small and they're, like, wrapped in a bow and they're all on the wall. And when I, like, walk into this room, they all, like, come at me and torment me, I guess.
Wow, that's a really, really good use of figurative language.
Thank you.
Why did you use presents to torment you?
I don't know, because when I was writing the poem, it, like, kind of showed how deceptive things can be. Like, it can seem good on the outside, but it'll end up, like, not being good on the inside.
I see.
Kind of like the rotten apple.
Mm-hmm. What inspired you to write this poem?
I don't know, probably the fact that sometimes I do get this for me, like at the end of the day after I've gone home, and I'm just sitting there in silence. I kind of think about all the things that I probably could have done better for the day. So I guess that kind of inspired it.
How come you wrote about regrets?
I think kind of the same thing of what inspired me. It's something that I sometimes do myself. So I guess that's why I wrote about regret.
like, what type of regrets are we talking about? Are we talking about, like, sticking your foot in your mouth, or, like, regretting not to brush your teeth in the morning, or regretting not to eat breakfast?
Well, the regretting not to eat breakfast is you, but I don't know, maybe kind of when I act around, like how I act around people, like if I said something that might have come across weird, or if I had done something to someone and at the time I had done something to someone and now I kind of regret like what I did, what I had said, that kind of stuff.
That is sticking your foot in your mouth.
No, I can't do that.
I wanted to say that I can actually like relate to what Dylan just said. Not the foot part. That was Riley.
I don't think anybody can relate to
Yeah,
that. Let's be
but
honest.
sometimes it's like
Maybe a 5-year-old, but
It's an idiom.
what does it mean?
Sticking your foot in your mouth means, like, saying something that you didn't mean. Like, you go to your mom, or, like, you go to your teacher and go say, "Hi, Mom." That's,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, I think we all thought you meant it like the literal way.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people think.
We weren't getting the idiom. We were getting the, like, literal version.
Yeah, like a toddler sticking their foot in their mouth.
I
like
think
that
only
way.
a toddler can do that because none of us are flexible enough to do that anymore.
I could probably do that.
Of course.
Okay.
Not really. Not really.
We definitely believe you.
So when you were writing this poem, did you... All right, just cut it there. Just cut it.
Well, So Dylan, was it easy for you to write this poem?
I think for some parts it was easy, some parts it was a little bit harder trying to find the right word and phrase to kind of convey what I'm trying to say. So yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, and. So, did you use a thesaurus?
Ooh, good question.
No, actually I didn't. I didn't use a thesaurus on any of mine. I kind of just looked on a dictionary.
Wow. Okay.
Worked for me.
Yeah, I used a thesaurus a lot.
Same. I, like, practically lived on a thesaurus while editing
Yeah.
my poems.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I would have been able to make my poems without a thesaurus. Because I was trying to find, like, words that, like, rhyme with each other and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't think I would have not been able to use it.
So, what environment did you have to make to be able to create your poem?
What do you mean by environment? Like, where was I when I wrote the poem? So the environment that I had to create it in was kind of, I don't know, I was sitting on my couch or I was in the classroom, and when I was on my couch, I just listened to music. And to be honest, I do that for, like, everything, for homework, for when I'm at home, when I'm reading. So most of the time it was music that I was listening to, or I don't know, something was on in the background on the TV or something like that.
Yeah, I could relate to that. I kind of, like, space out when I don't use, like, music when I'm doing, like, homework and stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess that's where the, like, my third for the Garner's intelligence was musical, and it was like 20% or something really big.
Have you ever written poems before?
No, I usually don't like poems. I find them very boring.
I see that. I can totally relate to that. Like, so it's really hard to, like, create a poem because poems are supposed to be rhythmic, logical, and clever, and it's just really hard to, like, squish all those in one because it has to be together creative. And, like, normally it would be nice to just do, like, a paper on, like, what you, like, enjoy, or, like, what a story you can make, like a story about a cat and a dog, and, like, a children's book or whatever. Like,
Yeah,
me personally, that's easier.
I prefer writing stories over everything because I feel like poems, you have to get so much in such a short little thing, and half the time they're so, like, specific, like, you have to do this rhyme scheme, you have to do this, where with stories it's kind of easier because you can just, like, write it kind of however you want, as long as you stay within the genre guidelines, and even then you can do 2 different genres, as long as it makes sense.
Yeah, I really, like, agree with that. I feel like story poems, they kind of, like, almost like stories, they flow more, and you have more freedom on, like, what you want to write. You don't have to follow, like, guidelines.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, your poem, even though you say you don't like writing poems, was a very good poem.
Thank
And
you.
the fact that you didn't have to go on a thesaurus 24/7, or like me, for 6 hours and look up words, then bravo.
Well, the IXL thing, I have like the vocabulary of an 11th grader, which I don't really agree because I can't take a present tense word and make it into a past tense word. Sorry.
Says the person
Off
who
track.
got 197 lessons.
All right.
191.
Mr. Jasper, can you cut out the IXL?
You're still wrong.
What were some of your favorite figurative language that you used in your poem?
I kind of liked how I did the hill and the pretty and wrapped in a bow. I like how I used that.
It was very intricate.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you for sharing your poem, Dylan. Now, on to moi. My poem is called Grandma's Welcoming Spaghetti. The hearty aroma fills the air. Red lava bubbles within its crucible. Bubble and spit, crimson and vexed. Peeking with wary fascination, an amiable, weathered expression. Love yes and no. With the thesaurus, it was question.
Okay, to get back on topic, what is your favorite use of figurative language in your poem?
I liked when I was doing like the bubble and spit and like getting all the words for that stuff.
Yeah, I really liked your poem. I thought the use of the metaphor of food and your grandma was really, really cool. It's unique.
Yeah. This poem was mostly about my homemade spaghetti that I make at my house. That's really good.
And then why did you choose to say all those complicated words in your poem?
To make, if I'm being totally honest, to make it sound like a smart person said it.
Nice.
It's more of big words just to demonstrate the big ideas in my poem.
Okay,
That's a really, really good answer.
I've got a question for you. Why did you choose, out of all the things you could have done about your grandmother, why did you choose to do food out of everything?
Because my grandma and my great-grandma were master chefs, and literally if I didn't have my grandma I probably would just eat like boiled water every day.
Yeah, that makes sense. Grandparents always make the best food.
Yeah.
Yeah, my grandma taught my mom how to cook.
Did she teach you how to cook?
No, I normally teach myself and try to teach my brother.
What was your favorite thing your grandma has ever made you?
Ooh.
It's a good
Normally
question.
when I
really
went
good
to her
question.
house, there's this thing called beef and noodles where it's this beef stew. You guys seen it. You've been on Adventure Club. But she'd make it better than my mom. And also the homemade spaghetti is really good. It's filled with cheese and tomato sauce, and I think sometimes they put sugar in it, and it's really good. It's my dad even says jar it and sell it. It's that good.
Wow.
I mean, you'd think it would be one of the best things considering you wrote a poem about it.
True.
Another question. Is your grandma a better cook or a better baker?
Cook, for sure. My grandma, we tried to make a cake for my brother's birthday, and I made it out of a heart cake tin, and it looked so bad. It tasted okay, but it was as dry as the Sahara Desert.
Did it look like a heart, or was it just...
It did look like a heart, and then we put like chocolate stuff all over it. It was pretty good, but whenever you try to make a gluten-free cake, they always turn out like dry.
Did your grandma had any other influence on you other than just cooking?
Well, my grandma used to be a nurse, and she's a very good mathematician. So we always like talk about math, or sometimes she tells me about the times of when she was a nurse and how she worked in the emergency room and how she was like the manager.
That's a really good answer. And your grandma sounds like a really like strong and smart person. Was it easier for you to like write about her?
Yes and no. I was like struggling to find like what to do with the poem. Like grandma, like I kept on like doing like telling in the poem until I like thought like food. Like Miss Long helped me with like the thought of like food as an enemy, and it just went downhill from there. It became really easy to write it after that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
If you would have had to pick another topic, what topic would you have picked?
That's a good question. I would probably pick, it would still be food. It would be like the ice cream that she'd give us like whenever we went over to my grandma's house back in Michigan, they would always have like either vanilla ice cream for me or sherbet for my brother waiting. And it was kind of funny.
Did they make it or did they buy it?
They bought it. But now they have like an ice cream maker, so whenever we come over, like she bought us like a random ice cream maker. So now we make ice cream. Like
What's better, homemade ice cream or bought ice cream, and why?
Well, it depends on what you make, because if you go like buy ice cream, like if you're talking about like a gelato place in like Laguna, then that's insanely better than like homemade ice cream. But I still need to make new homemade ice creams, considering my homemade ice cream is just cream and that's it.
Okay, wait, I have a question. What's your favorite ice cream flavor to like make?
And eat.
I like to make gelato, and I liked lemon, so I make lemon gelato sometimes.
Ooh.
I also, I've been trying to make it with this new Ninja thing that I got, and I just can't. The first ice cream I made was vanilla.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. So I have one last question. What is like the most inspiring thing about your grandma?
My grandma, like I said, she was a nurse, and she was very, very strong woman that was very smart, and she just helped everyone around. Like she still calls and goes, "Hey, did you see what I bought you?" Or, "Hey, I heard that you were sick. What can I do to help? What are your symptoms?" Like she's like that person.
Yeah, grandparents are the best.
True.
Well, Riley, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, I think we're about to like wrap it up now. So
Thank you for listening to our podcast. This was Riley.
And Nora.
and Olivia.
And Dylan.
Thank you.
This episode has been a production of the Capistrano Valley Christian Schools Podcast Network. Capistrano Valley Christian Schools is a Christian JK-12 school in San Juan Capistrano, California. Be sure to check out, subscribe to, and leave a review of this show and the other shows on our network on your podcast player of choice. Doing so supports the school community in a multitude of ways. For more information about the CVCS Podcast Network or any of our other shows, check out cvcs.org or email podcasts@cvcs.org. On behalf of the whole network, this is Mr. Jasper saying thank you again for listening, and stay tuned for more.